Hey everyone, Karl G Larsen here, and today I want to give you guys some tips on setting goals and how to accomplish the goals that you want to set. It's not rocket science. There's a few things you can do to really help yourself move closer towards those goals and really start to make progress to build belief and hope in what you're trying to accomplish, versus what most people do is, number one, set them and forget about them. Number two, set them and don't believe it's possible, so they don't really go after them. Or number three, set it and they're working towards it and then they realize how difficult it is and they give up because it's not worth it. So let's avoid all of that pain and struggle, guys, by getting into it right now. Now, before we get into it, I just got to say, it's amazing the process of goal setting, and it doesn't matter who you read, any type of successful person, whether it's someone who's accomplished a lot in their business or in their personal life or financially or relationships, whatever, they all have a game plan of how they're going to do it and have really clear intentions on what they want to create. Yet most people do not set goals of things they want to create in life, which blows my mind. It's just like you're chumming along in life and whatever comes your way, comes your way. And that is completely backwards from our philosophy and our belief system. So I want to encourage you guys to really take this on and really start to think about what it is that you want to create in your life and really start to go after. Now, in my life, 5 years ago, I was 25 and I was just getting done with college. I was broker than a joke. I had no money. I really didn't have anything at all, but I had a belief and I had an opportunity. And I had a belief in what I wanted to create in my life, because at that time I'd started to open my mind up to other possibilities besides working in a corporate job my whole life and using my education to just work for someone else's dream. And so what really happened was I started to think about, okay, what do I want? What do I want to create? What is possible? And I started to look at what all these other people have accomplished and created in their lives, and I really handpicked the things that were attracted to me, and I put them all down on a piece of paper. And that was 5 years ago, and it's crazy how fast things can change, because really 5-year time frame in your life is really not a long time frame, right? Over the course of your lifetime, it's pretty short. But 80% of everything that I wrote down on my list, guys, I've completely accomplished. Now, a lot of the goals that I wrote down, I didn't accomplish them exactly the way I thought they was going to happen, which is totally fine, right? So just forewarning to you that things don't always go exactly as you expect them to. Actually, it's probably never going to go the way you think it's going to go. But the point is having that stuff written down and focusing on it and always keep it in my mind. So when I was doing the work in my business towards creating those goals, and in my relationships and everything else, that I started to manifest those goals because I was working towards them. I had them in the back of my mind. So anyways, guys, it's crazy what can happen in a short amount of time. But here are some tips for you to really help to move you closer towards what you want to create in your life. Number one, I think that there is a really fine, so you can create this dream, you can create this vision, right? This painting of what your life would be like. So if you went 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road and walked into your exactly perfect situation of the relationship you wanted to be in and where you wanted to live and the people you want to hang out with and the money you want to make and how spiritual you want to, and all that stuff, right? If you were to put that on a painting, and then you could step into that painting 10 years from now, what would that painting look like? Right? So that would be your vision, your clear vision of that. But if you just focused on that vision, that painting of what you want your life to be like, and that's all you focused on, it's going to be tough to really accomplish it, because your future life happens today, right? So your future life is created moment by moment in your daily living. And so we really got to not only have that vision and keep it in the back of our minds, but also have actionable items on a daily basis and have smaller goals throughout to build momentum, okay? So obviously, number one, set that vision of what you want and then dial it back down into usually a 60 to 90 day chunk. So 2 to 3 month chunk. So what could you accomplish? What do you want to accomplish towards that goal in a 60 to 90 day chunk? And here's what I want to express is when you're thinking about that 60 to 90 day goal, we don't want to set the goal that is so easy you can accomplish it no matter what. It's already foregone conclusion. You're no problem at all. That's too easy, right? But we also don't want to stretch it so far where it's not even believable really, that would happen in a 60 day to 90 day time frame. We want to find that in between space, that space that's a little uneasy, a little bit fearful. That's the spot we want to be at. That's the feeling associated with the goal that you want to have, because that's going to stretch you enough to help you grow into that goal, into that space and that being of attracting that, but at the same time it's not going to be so far-fetched that you don't even believe it, so you don't work towards it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Find that space, find that. The second thing is, guys, you got to write it down. Every goal you have, you got to write them down. There's something magical that happens when you write it down on paper, and I don't know how it works exactly. I don't know why it works, but it just works. And so a lot like, kind of like electricity, right? A lot of people don't know how electricity works, but when you flip that light switch, the lights turn on, right? So you trust in the light's going to be on because you know by experience. Now, not a lot of us, most of us don't have the experience of having tons of successes, but you just got to trust the process. That really writing it down, paper and pencil, and declaring it is the magic to making it happen, okay? But if you just did that, I mean, that's better, but that's just not going to create your goal. You got to take some action on it. Most people go into the how. They go into, well, how is that going to happen, right? So they don't know exactly how it's going to happen, so they don't believe it's going to happen, so they don't even write it down, right? It's kind of this circular downward spiral with their goals, okay? Now here's what I want you to think about. I don't care how it's going to happen. For your goals, do not care how it's going to happen, okay? There are methodologies. There's someone out there that has accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. 99.9% of the time, someone's done what you're trying to do. And they have a methodology for that you can study. Okay, so how your goal is going to happen is not so important because the answer is already out there. You just got to do some research, you got to do some work, you got to find it. But the reason why you want to accomplish that goal is really where the magic is, because that is the feeling, that is the juice, the fuel, the fire that's going to get you up out of bed every morning to go after it. If you're not emotionally attached to your goal, through and through in every cell of your body, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I tell you that from experience because I've set a lot of goals that have not happened so far. I've set a lot of goals that have happened, but also a lot that have not. And what I've picked up on is that the ones that I've really accomplished so far, are the ones that I've been 100% invested in, decided it was going to happen, and emotionally attached to it, and it happened. So why do you want that goal to happen? So for example, I work in the wellness industry, so a lot of people set weight loss goals. I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 30 pounds, I want to lose 40 pounds. That's fantastic, but what does that mean to you, right? What would that mean to you to lose that 20 pounds? And logically it makes sense. I'm going to be healthier, I'm going to feel better, I'll be able to, work out longer. That's cool. But no, go deeper. What does that mean to you? What would it provide for you? What feeling would you have on the back end of that weight loss? You really want to slow down, think about why you want to accomplish your goals. And this is probably going to be unnatural for a lot of people for a lot of you guys watching this video, because we're ambitious entrepreneurs going after where we want to go. So to slow down and stop and reflect and really get deep and think about these things can be tough. And that's the challenge. That's one of the challenges for a lot of us A-type ambitious go-getters. You got to take time to study the methodology. Okay, what does that mean? If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, let's say, what do you have to do to lose 20 pounds, right? This is figuring out the how. So you set the goal and you commit to it, emotionally attached to it first, and then you do the methodology second. What do you have to do to lose 20 pounds? So how do you figure that out, right? Where would you start? You'd start to talk to people that you know that have lost weight, that hopefully have lost at least 20 pounds. You'd start to read books, read articles, read magazines on weight loss. You'd start to go on the internet and search for weight loss techniques, weight loss strategies, right? You would start to listen to podcasts on health and wellness and specifically weight loss. You'd watch videos on YouTube on weight loss. You'd just go out and do your research on what works and what doesn't. And then you can find the methodology that is in sync with you and that you connect with, and then that's what you do, right? If you want to speed that process up, guys, hire a coach. That's their job, is to help in those situations, to help speed up the process for you so you don't have to spend so much time. Okay, so coaches cost money, obviously, but it's either time or money. So you can either take a whole bunch of your time and go out and do all this research and figure out it on your own. That's fantastic. Or you can speed the process up, hire someone to teach you how to do it. Okay, so schedule time for the methodology study. People do not do that. Right? Ask yourself, look at your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, it's not going to happen. So if you don't have time in your calendar to help you accomplish those goals, whatever that is for you, it's not going to happen. So you got to schedule time to figure out how you're going to do it. And then once you have a game plan and you write it down, then what are you doing on a daily basis to make it happen? That is the secret. That's the key right there. don't even like to say the word secret. It's not a secret. It's well known if you are interested in that, you do your research. The methodology, right? Goal setting methodology. How does it work? Okay, so all of these things lead up to you accomplishing your goals or not, right? And I really encourage you guys to take this on and really start to do it, because it's unfortunate that there's so many people that do not believe that what they really want in life is not possible for them. And a lot of people don't even know what they want because they've never been asked the question, right? We've been told what do you want to be, what do you want to do, what do you want to do. So we go to school, we get an education, we get a job, and we get plugged into the system that's been set up for us, that have programmed us to fit in the system, right? A piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe you don't want to fit in that jigsaw puzzle. Maybe you want to create your own life and your own experiences and your own job and your own business and your own family and like just everything you get to create. This is the process on how to do that, right? There's going to be more videos coming up on more in-depth topics and training on this, but this is a very good intro video for you, okay? Lastly, guys, to close this video out, I just want to touch on judgment, self-judgment. A lot of times when people follow this process, they get to the end and they judge themselves based on what other people will think of them. Now, but we'll take weight loss, right? A lot of times people who are really fit all hang out together. People who are unfit, a lot of unfit, all hang out together. So if you're hanging around maybe people that are not as healthy as you want to be and you break that mold, you could get judged very heavily. So I want you guys just to understand ahead of time that don't judge yourself and don't let others judge you. And decide for yourself what you want to create and then go create it, because you can. Hey guys, one last note on this whole goal setting video and accomplishing your goals is that you want to take massive action and reflect on what's working and what's not and fine tune it, make changes. One of the other mistakes people make is they like get in a groove of doing something and it's working, somewhat, and then they don't reflect on how well it's working, if there's something better, or how can they improve it, and then they don't make any changes and they come into a rut and just kind of stuck and they level off. So one way to avoid that is to every so often, let's say every 30 days, have a reflection on the last 30 days. Okay, what was working, what was not? I just implemented the game plan I set for these 30 days. What were my results? Am I happy with those results? Do I want to have faster results? Is the timeline in which I'm getting results okay? So all these questions you can ask yourself and reflect on if it's working and what's not. And if it's not working, identify what piece of the puzzle that you put together, what piece of the plan is not working exactly the way you want it to, and then make changes to that piece of the puzzle. Hopefully this helped. Video for the day. Signing off, guys. Karl G Larsen. Visit my website, karlglarsen.com, for more information, or go like my Facebook page to stay in touch with what's happening. But we'll talk to you soon.